Hi friends, how are you all? So good morning everyone. This is a part 4 video for our particular topic, that is making of the Indian Constitution. Let us quickly resume the session without wasting much of our time, and before that let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Sashi Prabha, who is presenting you this particular topic. So in the last session, in the previous session, we discussed about the Cripps mission. We discussed why there was a delay in the preparation of the Constituent Assembly. We discussed about the Quit India movement, the support of Indians in the World War, etc. And I also mentioned you that today we are going to discuss about the Shimla conference. Now let's move into the topic. So this Shimla conference topic is very important for your examination, guys, and many times this was asked in the examination. So let us move into the details and we will see what is this Shimla conference, what are the details regarding this. The first point here is the Shimla conference took place in 1945. Okay. Now let's move into the details. The Shimla conference is a conference or the meeting held at the Viceroy's office. And who was the Viceroy at that time? The Viceroy at that time was the Lord Wavell. Let me write you for you. Lord Wavell. Right. So the Shimla conference, it took place in 1945 and the Viceroy at that time was the Lord Wavell. Let's move on. So, if you go into the details of the Shimla Conference of 1942 was arranged by Lord Archibald Wavell. The full name of Lord Wavell is Lord Archibald Wavell. Okay, he was the Viceroy at that time. This conference was between the Lord Wavell and the two major political parties of the India. So the conference is between whom? So you may get why this conference and what is the conference is about and between whom the conference is held. So the conference is between the two major political parties and the Lord Wavell. The Lord Wavell was there and the two major political parties were there. Okay, I told you the meaning of two major political parties in our previous video. So what is the meaning of the two major political parties here? The Indian National Congress, the INC, the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League. This conference was to agree up on the Wavell's plan for the Indian self-government and to provide separate representation to Muslims. So here both the major political parties sat together to come up to an agreement regarding the separation of the state basing on the communalism. Simply saying, this was the last opportunity for us to be united. Okay, if both the parties had agreed to be united, today we won't have a separate country like Pakistan. We might be united, we won't be separate, but unfortunately, both the parties could not come to an agreement. As a result, the partition of the country was decided and decided to prepare a separate constitution. Okay, the Muslim League, they decided that they will stick on to the demand. Okay, and the Shimla conference also decided that okay, they will go for a separate constitution. Later on, the British government, okay, Lord Wavell accepted for this that the Pakistan will be separated and we will have a separate constituent assembly. But the British government did not accept this. Okay, so the Shimla conference was a failed, which lead to the delay in the Constituent Assembly. So what is the Shimla conference? The Shimla conference is for the agreement regarding the Constituent Assembly. And who gave this and who leaded for this? Lord Wavell. In which year? 1945. So these are the important bits from that. Now, after this Shimla conference, we got a cabinet mission plan. So you always read in a sequence so that it will be easy for you to remember everything. So Shimla conference was in 1945. Next is the cabinet mission plan which took place in 1946. Okay, this is again important for your examination point of view. Please remember the dates also. Do not neglect anything because we don't know from which corner the questions will be asked. So do not neglect any point. Now, moving on to the details of the cabinet mission plan. First of all, let us talk about the members of the cabinet mission plan. We have three members in this cabinet mission plan. So, who are the three members in this cabinet mission plan? Means Lord Lawrence, just a minute, Lord Lawrence, Sir Stanford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander. And in which year we got this cabinet mission plan? We know that it was in 1946 and date was March 24. So on March 24th, 1946, we got the cabinet mission plan. Of course, the date is not very much important for you for your prelims examination, but the year is very important. Okay, now, so who are the members? Lord Lawrence, Sir Stanford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander. So how many members are there? Three members. Many times this question was asked in the examination. You can refer the old question paper. So many times it was asked. The second person, if you observe the second person, Sir Stanford Cripps, is a person who gave us the Cripps mission. The Cripps mission was failed. Later on in the next year, the cabinet mission plan was released, and in that also the Sir Stanford Cripps was a member. Okay. The cabinet mission plan, what is the result of this cabinet mission plan? The cabinet mission plan did not accept for the separation of the state based on the communalism. So here, even the cabinet mission plan did not accept it for the separation basing on the communalism. They want the united India. Right. So if you see the result of the cabinet mission plan, the cabinet mission plan rejected the claim for the separate constituent assembly for the separation of the states for Muslims, state for Muslims. So that was the result of the cabinet mission plan. Okay. So the cabinet mission plan rejected the proposal for the separate state. Second one, they accepted for the formation of the constituent assembly. So what was the result of the cabinet mission plan? First one, they rejected the proposal to have a separate state for Muslims. Second one, they accepted for the formation of the constituent assembly. So the constituent assembly was formed in the 1946. Clear? So what is the result of the cabinet mission plan? First thing, they rejected for the separate constitution and separate constituent assembly. And second thing, see here, rejected. Second thing, they accepted for the formation of a constituent assembly, and the constituent assembly was formed in which year? 1946. So finally, the cabinet mission plan, through the cabinet mission plan, we got the acceptance for the formation of the constituent assembly. Why this cabinet mission plan is important for your examination point of view means this is one of the reason. Since through cabinet mission plan, we got the constituent assembly, the formation of the constituent assembly. So this is very important for your examination point of view. So what are the important points here? First one, when we got the cabinet mission plan, that was in 1946. And how many members were there in the cabinet mission plan? 3 members were there. And even remember the names of the 3 members. Okay, that's finally what was the result of the cabinet mission plan? We got 2 results from the cabinet mission plan. First one is they rejected for the separate state. Okay, and second one is they declared that the constituent assembly will be formed. That was in 1946, and in the same year the constituent assembly has been formed. Right. So finally we got the constituent assembly. the Constituent Assembly has formed. So in the next session, we will see who all the members of this Constituent Assembly and what the next step that has been taken place. So stay tuned till then. Subscribe the channel and click the bell icon so that you will get the further notifications. Right. So I'll come up soon with the next session. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.